life has been crazy. Just wanna be okay. How can I pick up the pieces when everything breaks with every day? I'm getting older, I feel the weight upon my shoulders. I'm strong enough, I'll rise above. It's all gonna be okay. If I can be anything, I think I'm gonna be me. I know I gotta be me. Nowhere else I wanna go, no one else I'd rather be. I think I'm gonna be me. Everything's changing, just trying to navigate. Oh, I keep on believing I'm gonna find my way with every day. I'm getting older, I feel the weight upon my shoulders. I'm strong enough, I'll rise above. It's all gonna be okay. If I can be anything, I think I'm gonna be me. I know I gotta be me. Nowhere else I wanna go, no one else I'd rather be. I think I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me. I think I'm gonna be me, me, me. I know I gotta be me, me, me. 'Cause nowhere else I wanna go, no one else I'd rather be. I think I'm gonna be me. I know I gotta be me, me, me. 'Cause nowhere else I wanna go, no one else I'd rather be. I think I'm gonna be me.
What up Thursday? Hi, Keely Dunn, FHumpires, you're the third team, and holy smokes, this is weird. I can't even tell you how weird I feel right now. First of all, hair not quite on point. Second of all, it's Thursday, and well, there's a whole bunch of you here, and I am shocked. I tell you, at how many fine folks are here, and good to hear that for some of you who normally miss your Wednesday fix and catch it on replay, you're here and you get to watch it live with me. So this is great. Let's see, we got Kat, the old Take Two, David Eggleton's here. Thank you so much. And thank you for reaching out the other day. Struggling to press the right buttons here. Let's try. Come on. Let's do this. This is going to be a good show, people. Good show. Okay. I'm going to check the comments, like scroll to the bottom to make sure that everything is working. Happy Thursday. Okay, I'm not hearing anybody saying that I've messed up my sound or there's anything buffering. I mean, it's looking pretty good right now, you guys. Let's go. Every day I'm buffering. Look, I'm so appreciative because yesterday was one of those days that one can easily say, oh my goodness, this was terrible. I'm going to break down into tears and all that sort of thing. But you guys are so fantastic about making sure that, you know, you're chill and you're supportive and you're like, hey, let's go tomorrow. And I'm like, God, who's the smarty pants who came up with that idea? Because it wasn't me. So thank you. And let's see, yes, we have sound and video. Luke is not umpiring. I mean, ads here. So like, that's a thing. I mean, really? And yes, the retry party. We've got watch parties, retry parties. We've got the whole thing. And did you know that Rachel drinks Cabernet Sauvignons on Thursdays as well? That's what happens. Okay. Let's see. Everything's going well. And my upload speed has been fixed. So as I started to put the pieces together, you know, smarty pants over here thought, maybe I should do some speed tests. I did said speed tests and was shocked to find out 8 megabits per second. 8! I was like, what? What kind of monster would inflict 8 megabits per second on me when normally I have about 950? So rated at 1 gig. But anyway, I reset the router and rebooted everything and it all worked. It's just really difficult to think of all these troubleshooting things on the fly. And maybe I could have spent 10 minutes doing that yesterday, but what do you say? YouTube on the you might see the clips today. Shh. There you go. Oh, Larry, what time is it for you? Because it depends on which area of Australia it is. Obviously, you're a big country, kind of like ours. So we get it. Claire! Oh my God, it's been a hot minute. Thank you for coming. And there you go. Let's Go Tomorrow came straight out of the same book as Let's Go on Tour. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay. I did these announcements yesterday, so sorry if you heard them already, but this needs to get out for posterity and for the YouTubes. Some of you may not have heard about them, but I wanted to say hello to a few people who have just joined the FHU third team, and that would be Andrew Lim of the Kingdoms of United, right here. Andrew has just joined FHU 3T Green. So that is our level of support where you get access to the clip library and some special little perks that I put in the Discord server. But one of the biggest things is that you help make sure that we can continue doing all these educational things for everybody around the world, these weekly live streams. So Andrew, thank you so much. And James Wallace has joined Yellow. So congratulations, James. Apparently Anwar wrestled you into it. Anwar is pretty cool, not gonna lie. I'm pretty impressed. So if you are half as cool as Anwar, you're gonna be amazing. And yeah, let's get to work. I can't wait. So thank you to both Andrew and James, and welcome to the show. A couple of milestones were reached this week. 2K subs on YouTube, which I would like to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, is my button gonna work? Yeah. Look. Ting. Yeah, do that thing. That would be appreciative. But for me, subs are fine. Likes, yes. But the thing that means the most to me is how much you guys engage. So the fact that you keep asking questions, you keep helping me out with answers, you keep pressing me and forcing me to explain things well really means so much, because you are making this whole experience more valuable for everybody. So thank you. I try not to sound facetious. Instagram, 4,000 followers on Wednesday morning. Yesterday morning, woke up, there it was, 4,000. So I don't do a lot on Instagram. I don't do a lot on the socials, period. So thanks to everybody. The weird part, okay, you guys, the weird part is that on the reels, so I had to repost the reel to change the date for the show, today. And I'm getting comments just like you do on like Inside Hockey and Icons and all those channels who put up clips and are like, what's your call? And people are actually just like, yeah, it's a yellow card, and saying stuff on my reels. So thank you. That's really great. Okay. Back to the announcements. I wanted to talk about this briefly. And this is a real-time view of the GoFundMe campaign that was launched by Ali Baggett, who is a Canadian umpire, a retired Canadian international player. When she was Ali Lee, now she's Ali Baggett, and also PAF media officer. She works for UVic. She knows her stuff about telling stories in media, and she decided that she was going to launch a fundraiser to support Megan McClellan, who is our mutual friend. And Megan and I actually umpired my last international tournament together. So as Canadian umpires, we were down there in Veracruz, Mexico, and umpired the CAC games. And that means a lot to me. And Megan and I went kayaking last summer before? Can't remember. When she came out to Calgary, and we had a great time. So yeah, Megan needed some support to make sure she could get to the Junior Pan Am Cup, which is happening in Barbados in about a month, because she found out that she was going to be entirely responsible for her flights and expenses, that Field Hockey Canada was not going to be putting any money. Allie stepped up, told her story, and within, 8 hours, she was fully funded. So I'm looking at my phone and I'm texting Allie saying, hey, dude, Lori and Pamba probably need help too. Oh yeah, added them. And as you can see right now, fully funded, everybody, they get to go and get not to stress. And I mean, Lori and I are going to be working together at the Indoor Pan Am Cup, the Indoor Can-Am series happening in Toronto this weekend. So she's my TD, I'm her UM. We're going to be roommates. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm just so pleased for her and for Pamba and Megan. They contribute so much to the scene of hockey here in Canada. If you contributed, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you didn't and you still want to, you can see in the description that the any excess is going to be going straight to the Field Hockey Canada officiating committee in trust, and they have sworn upon their lives that they will be allocating any funds to any excess funds to funding officials going to tournaments. Joe Wedrich from Calgary is coming out to Toronto with me, and she had to pay her flight, as did I. I'm angling for Joe's flight. Just want you to know. Okay. That was great news. Very pleased for that. Self-indulgent moment. It's my channel. I get to do this. My club. This is my club. Well, this is my twos. These are our twos. And we won our semifinal Sunday. And we're going to be playing in the final when I'm in Toronto. They're going to do fine without me. Don't worry. And that's awesome. But you know what else is awesome? The threes also are playing in the final. And the ones are playing in the final as well. So literally all three of our teams in our club are playing for championships of their divisions. And I am so proud. I also scored a penalty stroke. I did. It was a 4-0 win, but that stroke was important. Hi. Okay, let's see who else is here. In case oh no, don't say that. Don't say that. Okay. Hello, Innocent. Good to see you all the way from South Africa. Welcome. You get an air horn, sir. Air horn. Thank you for coming in. And I can't wait to hear the questions and the comments that you have. Make sure you get stuck in and engaged. This is what we're talking about today. These are our topics. We are talking about penalty corner equipment outside the 23-meter area, the Southgate Slide, no goal in Amsterdam, aerial over or in the circle, a penalty corner first shot hit at height, and then we're going to do some rapid fire. I've decided to do a rapid fire so that if I have time for more short segments, I can, but if not, nobody's going to be mad. See how I get all that? I get all that just arranged the way I like it. There you go. Oh, Simon's here. Yes, Flintstone Cottage. There you go. Ian, of course they were. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't drag the ball. And I still scored. I kind of shot it at her. But as one of my young teammates said, she said, Keely, you really put a lot of venom into that stroke. And I said, I've got a lot of venom built up. Just ask anybody who watches this live stream. Okay, let's get started. Let's get this party started. Penalty corner equipment outside the 23-meter. Oh, Australia hockey, you just keep on giving.
It just changes the dynamic. Jugraj is there. As is Harman
So this is a penalty corner defense attempt. Successful. I sped it up so that you could see the movement of the ball, and that this is a continuation after that penalty corner. Free hit is awarded outside the 23. And Ahmed has stopped time. Okay, and instructing Akinen to get rid of his knee guards. But more than that, what we miss in the direction is that he's given a green card to Eddie Ockenden, and now is upgrading it with a yellow card because he didn't leave the pitch. Really difficult for us to see with how the cameras went back and forth. You know, it's really difficult. So David also, as you can see here, is taking a little bit of clarification and just making sure everybody knows what's happening.
Okay, so
what was Ockenden's first yellow card for?
Okay, yep, but it's a yellow card for a breakdown.
Rado, I see you. Okay.
He's given a free hit. Yeah. Right. Yep. The free hit was meant to be back here. Yep. Eddie can't take it. In fact, he shouldn't even be out here. So it really should be go. Right. So we've given him a green card. Yeah. He's then stopped and broken the play down, and so he's given him the yellow card.
Because it was our free hit, so how is he broken the play down?
He's not allowed to be here with those knee pads on.
Well,
okay.
Isn't the rule if you get an opportunity to take him off, you take him off?
He's not allowed out here.
Free hit?
Yeah, not out here. Not out here. No, not out here. Okay. So you're saying with the free hit, but he's going to play.
Yeah, and what about the breakdown? Because he was playing the ball for a free hit.
He can't play the ball for a free hit. That's the issue. He can't play it.
Okay. So I'm just replaying this moment because actually Zalewski, the captain, also is wearing his knee guards and playing the ball outside the 23 before even that free hit is awarded. And I bet Zalewski, the reason he retreated towards the 23 is he realized he still had his knee guards on, knee pads. And then Ockenden takes off. Okay, so let's parse this out because it was a little bit, not very clear, and it was quite messy. So the first thing that we want to have a look at is the rules here with 4.2. And let's see if I can get this working properly. We're looking at this section here about when players need to remove their equipment. So obviously the Australian players had a little bit of confusion because Zalewski asked, well, isn't the new rule that it is when we get an opportunity to remove our equipment? But regardless of that opportunity, they cannot wear their equipment outside the 23-meter area. I can't see anything. So they have to remove it before they leave the 23-meter area, or as indicated by the umpire. So those are the two conditions on which that they have to remove their stuff. All right. So what is interesting about this provision, though, is that it doesn't actually declare what the penalty is for doing so. And as these rules have been coming about with removal penalty corner equipment, there's been a few people who've asked me, well, what do we do? And the convention, at least I can say, is to call a free hit outside the 23-meter against the defender who is playing with their penalty corner equipment still on. Now, back at Tokyo, there was one play where I remember, I think it was an Indian player, or maybe it was an Argentinian, I can't remember, who went running up the pitch, and she was between the center line and the attacking 23. So she'd moved well outside the defending 23, well outside, like past the center line, and was doing something up there and wearing knee guards. And Ayanna McLean gave that player a green card. And the clarification did come down that the appropriate penalty is a free hit unless you have breakdown of play, high impact, or repeated occurrences. I don't know how wearing knee guards is ever going to impact the play because It doesn't change the ability of a player to make a tackle. It doesn't change anything for the players. It's just a technical rule to ensure that players aren't running around with more protective equipment than they should have, particularly face masks, which are a danger to the opposition. Okay. That being said, there's nothing in the briefing either that clarifies this. So I looked for this because I said, well, I know this is what the penalty is. I know this is the remedy, but why can't I find it anywhere? Because it's not there. It'd be cool if we could fix this. Very, very cool. Yes, Simon, we've been here before, and you're still not checking if they've removed their groin protectors. Yeah. Which is, I mean, as facetiously as Simon is saying it, with all joking manner, it's a good point, because does it matter? And there is an argument to be made that the way that 4.2 is worded and the structure of the paragraphs, which are an absolute dog's breakfast. I mean, there's just no question about it. That whole provision is ridiculous. It bounces all over the place. The wrong equipment is lumped in with descriptions of other things. We don't have the remedy prescribed. It's just so bad. But when you take it to that, I mean, I'm not a fan of red herrings or, taking things to extremes, but it does point out that there's other penalty corner specific equipment. Groin protection is not mentioned anywhere in the rules or the briefing either, by the way, which is kind of interesting. It's like, shh, don't talk about the groin protection. People might get offended, even though all the guys wear it. So that just doesn't even get mentioned. But in 4.2, you can argue that it's only the face masks that are defined as penalty corner equipment that must be removed because of where it exists in the provision. So if I go back to this, it's the way it says, that paragraph says, their players are permitted to wear smooth, preferably transparent, face mask or grill, and are needed to, they must remove it whenever they can, if they are inside the 23-meter area or when the umpire instructs. All players must remove, and then the paragraph starts to go into all players must remove all protective equipment before they leave the 23-meter area. Why is that in the same provision? Why is it in that provision? Why do we not have a list of what the protective equipment is at this point, and what has to be removed and what does not have to be removed? Just make it clear. And if you're saying that the big gloves that the players put on to protect themselves for penalty corners, that those need to be removed, well, that's not true, because we have in the very first provision here, they're permitted to wear this hand protection, okay, without any need of compressing it, blah, 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 both for normal play and to defend penalty corners. Okay, so we've got all these complicating factors. Players could wear ice hockey gloves all over the pitch if they wanted to all game. I don't know how good they'd be, but players. I can't even use my bare hands, never mind use big hockey mitts to play. But that's there. So I don't know how we're expected to understand how to consistently apply this particular rule when the rule is just so garbage and out of place, out of order, all that sort of thing. So what happens here, I think, what we want to be clear on ourselves as we go into our situations is that the free hit is the correct remedy here. No matter what, Zalewski commits an offense that a free hit, as our understanding of what penalty we're supposed to apply goes, Zalewski or Ockenden. Not only can they not play outside the 23, but if they're wearing their protective equipment, they're not permitted to take a self-pass. And Ockenden even takes a self-pass. and goes running it up the field, and then he goes to pass it off. They're not even allowed to do that if they're inside the 23. They can only take a quick pass to a friend. They can't self-pass it and start going dribbling. I think it's dumb, but the briefing is very clear. And that's something that the briefing actually specifies. We know this. Okay? So when I was watching this and trying to parse through everything that happened, what it seemed to me like is the green card came for an intent and just a misunderstanding of what the appropriate remedy was. But after the green card was awarded, because Ockenden failed to leave the pitch, then he's essentially upgrading his own card. So it's difficult when the words are, that an umpire who's under a lot of pressure is trying to get the communication out there. Have we not all been in this position? Obviously we have. But that, I believe, is what happened here. And if it wasn't enough, this was Eddie Ockenden's second yellow card of the game. He had taken one for breaking down play earlier in a rather physical breakdown tackle. And that's why it was a straight 5-minute yellow card. So now, I think y'all know I have feelings about double yellow cards and how seldomly it should be permitted that a player who's already taken one yellow card should be able to remain in a game and serve a yellow card and then return. We have conversations on a regular basis about what different offenses are that would then allow a player to remain. And dissent can sometimes be one of those distinguishing, okay, this is not the same as breaking down play with time wasting or a tackle. I certainly will never accept an argument that says, well, that player intentionally put their foot in the way of the ball, committed an intentional foul playing the ball with their body, took a yellow card, and then they came back on, and then they committed a breakdown stick tackle. Those are two different offenses. No, sorry. That's just breaking down play. A technical issue, like a captain taking a card because of an incorrectly performed substitution, different issue, right? That, to me, feels like something that you could actually give 2 yellow cards for, because the captain is taking this as being the responsibly named party in the rule book, but they weren't the one that, most likely, but maybe they were, the one who snuck on the field when they weren't supposed to. And who's at fault for that? Blah, blah, blah. I think you get the point. The difficulty that I have is that if a player has already taken a yellow card, why do they get another shot at negatively impacting a game when they know they have been warned not just not to do that thing, but not to do anything that's disruptive to the game? So if this is a yellow card, well, I mean, first of all, can you give a green card to a player for failing to remove their knee guards? Well, that wasn't probably a correctly given green card. It needed to be a free hit. So there's a few things that compounded here that made this situation messy. So I don't want this to be, we got to deal with whether Ockenden should have taken a red card. I think that it's unfortunate how it all played out, but what we can learn from this situation is, first of all, the conversation that the 2 umpires had coming into the middle of the field was very effective. It was needed to be done in order to try to explain to the teams what had happened, why the decisions were made, even if maybe they weren't the best decisions to make at the time. The explanation is able to be given, and the umpires can give that communication. So that's something to learn from it. And also just reinforcing that we're looking for a free hit in this situation, unless it's some kind of repeated offense or there's something extra high impact about it. I can't imagine what that would be, but that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to look at your comments and see what I've missed. Look, I had to go through all the stuff again, just in case. And Gary, never an issue. You know what you can do is you can pull the cursor, the play marker of the video back to the beginning, and then you put me on 2x speed, and then you can catch up, and then you can be live, and you haven't missed anything. Just saying, it's something that I do. And yes, the gloves can be bigger than the box, but the gloves can never be bigger than the box. If they're worn as penalty corner defensive equipment, they still have to fit in the box. And if you wear them around on the pitch in regular play, they still have to fit in the box. Everything's got to fit in the box. So good to know. Luke, we need that to be a separate provision and a comprehensive list. Yes. Yes. And when it has to be removed. Yes. And it doesn't have to be long. You could probably take those like 7 guidance paragraphs and boil it into a nice little tidy clause, subclause, done. It's not complicated now that we know what we're talking about, but it's that these provisions get altered and edited piecemeal, and nobody takes a holistic view of, you know what? 4.2 just needs to get fixed. Let's just rip it down and rebuild it. How about that? And what surprises me is that how many umpires within the FIH community in particular who have legal training. Okay, I do, but I'm talking about the Sean Rappaports, the Lorene Delforges, people like that who have this legal training. They know how to draft things, and even if it's not their area of legal specialty, they've taken some legal drafting training. You have to in law school, I'm pretty sure. But there's lots of lawyers, lots of business people, and this is fixable. This is not an intractable issue like danger feels like. It's an intractable issue that we're never going to be happy with. These are easy fixes. Let's fix them. Doesn't have to be completely exhaustive. Yeah, it doesn't have to be exhaustive of all the items, is what you're saying, Luke, and I agree. Yeah. Simple list of what can't be used outside the 23, yep, would suffice. With the free hit being the penalty. Yeah. What about the ball hitting a loose shin guard, part of normal protection, play on, or penalty depending on the location per 916? Well, let's have a look at that, because we can check what the provisions say. So I believe, as you alluded to, Rado, the 916 here, okay, is 916 is a, I think you meant 917. Yeah, 917. Okay. 916 and 917. Did I do the wrong one? I may have the wrong. Did you see that really fancy? Watch this again. So I may have the wrong rule book up, but I'm pretty sure it's the other way. Field players must not stop, kick, propel, throw. I'll know if the hitting provision is here. Players must not hit the ball. That's indoor. Okay, got it. Sorry, Rado. I knew something was up because I know you know what the provisions are. And this particular button isn't working. So as you're saying, 917 is the provision that we're looking at. So once my mouse comes back to me, thank you. Okay, here we go. 917, 16, it's still 16. 16, it's 17. I'm gonna shut up now. But the good news, the internet's really good today. Okay, so if the ball hits any discarded equipment, such as, so when a rule is phrased like that, where it says any and such as, that is meant to be an all-encompassing provision. So that will include shin guards, or knee guards, or gloves, or anything like that. Okay, so that covers it. I hope that makes it very I hope that covers it all. Loose shin guard, part of normal protection. Sorry, if I could read, you know, and stop fussing. For me, that's part of the play because it hasn't been discarded and it hasn't been thrown. So you still have this whole notion of things being thrown and that sort of thing. It's not a discarded piece of penalty corner equipment. So anybody have anything else for me on that? Because I don't feel comfortable with my answer. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I don't like the things that come out of my mouth, I'm going to tell you guys. Raj, how do we actually tackle this problem when a player goes outside the 23 with the protection gears on? If we see them getting close to the 23 and they're not playing the ball yet, you're going to be proactive. You're going to say, hey, and you have to be aware. You have to pick this up even when they don't. You don't get to relax in our game. Like, it's a lot of work. So you're keeping an eye, your periphery. You're looking at, okay, who's thrown off their equipment? Who hasn't? Oh, 11 is getting close to the 23. Dude, knee guards, knee pads. Why do I say knee guards all the time? Knee pads, get your knee pads off. If they're outside and they haven't touched the ball yet, you're going to be very directive and very, you know, very strong with your wording because you're not there to trap them. We're not there to say, haha, you're wearing your knee pads. We're going to penalize you. Haha, we're so clever. This is about trying to make sure that a rule like this that's so technical and ticky-tacky doesn't even enter into the consciousness the way that this play did. We don't want this. We don't want this whole thing. We want players doing awesome stuff and us being able to applaud. That's our goal, right? So that's what we're looking at, proactive communication. I hope that helps. Oh, that's a bad pun. That's a very bad pun. Yes, Larry, the rule needs to be reviewed and restructured to allow better flow of the game. It's disadvantage the player now in possession of the ball, which will allow a faster counterattack. I think I understand what you're saying, Larry, and the improvement that they've made, and I'm going to give credit where it's due, the rules committee allowing this relaxation of while the ball is in the 23, that it's okay. I mean, remember, it used to be the 5 meter dotted line in outdoor. And that was no fun because at that point it was, you know, it was so strict and the ball was much more likely to get turned over, come back into the circle, and players were under a lot of pressure to feel like, oh my God, we got to get this equipment off as soon as possible because we want to participate in a counterattack. But oh my God, I'm going to be unsafe because I'm going to be turning my back. I'm going to be looking at where I'm throwing the equipment so I don't hit the umpire. I don't hit an opponent or a teammate or a ball patrol. And I'm going to lose track of the ball. I'm going to lose track of my mark, all that stuff, right? So the relaxation of the spatial limit to the 23 meter line is a fantastic step in the right direction. And I think that's as far as it needs to go. Because if you're going to tell me that at this point, an organized team with 11 players on the pitch can't sort out how to counterattack or how to monitor this properly after the play. And I mean, I sped up this replay, but it was a good stretch of like 20 seconds of play. That's enough time. So I'm not necessarily buying that. I think this is the right place, the right happy medium, in my view. So, am I on drugs? You tell me. Hi, Simon. Is there a reason, perhaps you're assuming too much, that the umpire didn't proactively shout to get rid of the kit? We have no idea if he did or not. We don't have audio at this moment. And remember, this is India playing Australia and Rukala. So it's kind of a big game. There's, you know, probably 10,000 people in the stands, maybe more. It could have been very loud at that moment. And it's really difficult for umpires to get those messages through in this particular scenario. Us at home, come on. We got to yell over somebody's dog, maybe. And a couple of rowdy students if it's a Wednesday. Otherwise, it's fine. It's fine. and we'll be able to get that proactive message through. So I hope that helps. Oh my God, you call me ma'am. It's so weird. Come on, I'm Canadian. It makes me feel weird to call me ma'am. David, is there any parts of the rules that prevents a player starting the game whilst wearing a knee pad? Explicitly no. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And Rob Tencat and I had a long conversation about this where I wasn't convinced. And then he said, well, Keely, like work through 4.2, work through this, work through that. And I was like, actually, yeah. So it's an interesting conundrum. You can infer and you can extrapolate from the way that the rules are set up that you have to remove, that you can't have them all at the beginning. But I've spoken about this as somebody with 2 knee replacements. I kind of would like, if I'm getting into a high-paced match or I'm worried I'm going to fall over, it kind of would be cool if I could wear knee pads. So if I ever get to the point, if I can rehab sufficiently that I'm able to move, and let's say I try out for the Canadian Masters under 55 team and I make it and I go to a competition of that kind of level, this is something I'd look into myself in order to protect myself, to feel really confident that if a ball gets smoked at me, it's not that it shouldn't hurt, right? But it's hard to describe that feeling. What are you saying, Kat? The fastest, most effective defensive breaks from PCs typically has a defender with knee pads on shifting the ball quickly to a forward player without the knee pads on, which is why it's rarely an issue. Yeah, and that's another good point. But I think it's something worth considering that that Larry's talking about. I just think that this, we're currently in the right spot about it. Okay, I'm not going to 2-minute warning. I hope we worked through that comprehensively enough that everybody feels good about that whole shebang. And just, have some grace and empathy for any umpire, just like us, who gets in a position where things may not be explicitly clear. You haven't dealt with a particular situation before, and how easy it is to not deal with the situation in the best way. We are learning from our mistakes at every level. And what my hope is by talking about these things, about how we're going to move forward, that we can prevent and we can speed up everybody's progress together. It's like, hey, one person has had this mistake, the rest of us get to learn from it, and we don't have to go through the same process, and we can all speed it up. Okay, that's the whole point of doing these things. Next, the Southgate Slide. Oh, this is the one that everybody wanted. Okay, so it came up in the server, and Patrick here brought it to our attention, included the YouTube link. This is a great way. I love this. It's like, oh my God, you not only did you give me the YouTube link, you gave me the timestamp and the YouTube link. I could go look at the incident right away and say, that's a What Up Wednesday topic. And so we have had a discussion about it inside the server. And if you don't know where the server is, FHumpires.com/DS, come join in, because those pre-discussions and post-discussions help me as well in making sure that I get the best information to y'all. So this is what the Southgate Slide looked like.
Pulling the strings. Now there's danger for Southgate, because Old Louts have the ball forward, but look at the ball now. That's going to be a 10-minute yellow, surely. He's connected, diving with the Old Loutonians player.
Surely. My favorite word in the British language. Surely. Okay. Something that I was very happy to be able to get slid on the DL here was the opposite angle. Okay. And obviously it's terrible footage, so don't at me. Don't at me. Somebody was pointing their phone at their screen and thinks that that's a good way to screen capture. So we can pull this. Does anybody want to pull this? Kat? And by anybody, I mean Pat. Kat? Is this a play on? Is this a green card, a 5-minute yellow, or a 10-minute yellow? Please let me know. Kat's wondering, oh my God. Jamal, is Quan ever not going to be at it? I mean, it's just incredible. He just, yep, that's him. He plays deep in the backfield now, though. He's still an exceptional player, just exceptional. And, you know, his contributions, I think, to the England GB setup, everybody is just so pleased over there to be able to access his experience and information. So, okay, get your thoughts in on the poll. Thank you very much, Kat. And let me know what you think. So, the outcome, if you weren't sure, the outcome that was on the pitch was that no penalty was given. Time was stopped. And the player was tended to because, you know, they tumbled over quite dangerously, and and he wasn't. Jeez, you guys, stop it. I think he was okay. My understanding, I haven't heard any reports to the contrary, but did need to take medical attention on the field for a little bit of a time, which gave the umpires an opportunity to come together and have a discussion. And they continued play with play on. So when we talk about the slide tackle briefing, I am quite insistent that the mandatory 10-minute yellow card provision, understanding, guidance, principle, applies when 3 things exist in the moment. That you have body contact initiated by a defender going to ground. That body contact brings that player to ground, and that player is the ball carrier. Okay? To me, the way that I understand how hockey works, the whole reason we get worried, why we need to make this a mandatory suspension of a 10-minute time period, is because it is dangerous for players who are looking at the ball and who are carrying the ball. They can't also see out of the corner of their eye that somebody is coming and sliding in from behind them. I don't like when it's automatically applied to situations where attackers are sliding into defenders. Let's say they're doing a sliding dive because they're trying to deflect a ball in on a penalty corner or a free play situation, and they're sliding towards the goal or at an angle to the goal or whatever the case might be. To me, that isn't an automatic situation, because in that case, you don't have a defender who's got their head down trying to carry a ball and moving into space with a ball. They can see all these things happening, and it's just not quite the same level of danger. Does that mean I don't believe it'll never be a 10-minute yellow card? Absolutely not. It absolutely can be a 10-minute yellow card, and many times it should be. But is it mandatory? Is it automatic? For me, no. There's also degrees of contact in those situations, because defenders can adjust and they can see that somebody's coming and go, oh, and gently trip over that player or not fall at all. And I've seen 10-minute yellow cards being given for very slight, non-dangerous situations. Okay? One of the comments that came in on my Instagram reel from yesterday was somebody pointed out Simon Parker action images, but the attacker isn't in possession of the ball. So this isn't a slide tackle. So turning my words against me, fair play, Simon. Simon of the Simons of England. But in this case, I don't think that you have to rely on the mandatory provision for this to be a highly dangerous situation where a player goes to ground in order to possess or dispossess the ball from an opponent when the opponent can't do anything about the situation. They are just as vulnerable because they're in a 50-50 race for this ball. So just because the attacker doesn't have possession, what I would invoke here, regardless of mandatory or not, is that it doesn't matter. This is freaking dangerous. Off he goes for a 10. End of story. So I see that argument, and academically, I agree with that argument. Applied to this particular fact situation, irrelevant. I would like to hear what everybody else has to say. Ian, convince me it's not a 10-minute yellow card. Is it the guy at the table who's got the sign and he says, convince me to... I think that's what it is. Veer Tigers, hi. Doesn't seem to be intentional, but he takes the risk of touching the other player. Exactly. Okay, so Veer, really good point. Let me deal with this because the word intentional gets twisted up and really isn't what we're trying to address here. This player intentionally goes to ground. Do they intentionally try to take down their opponent in a dangerous way and injure them? No. Of course that's not their intention at all. But they are in full control of their body and the choice they make to cause this danger and to be reckless as to the result. So that's the criterion that we apply as umpires in every situation. Did you take a risky action and it didn't work out for you and you committed a foul and you broke down the play and you committed danger? Let's go through all the upgrades and here are the cards. Because what we are monitoring are the choices made by the players. Evidenced by, did they have full control of their body? Could they see everything that was happening? So if this Southgate player, I guess, I shouldn't even say it, the player in red, if they were at full stretch and they tripped on the turf and then they went down, we don't apply the same remedy whatsoever because they weren't in full control of their body. They didn't intend to go to ground. We might say the way you were running, you put yourself at risk that you were going to do that. And you know, we can sort of parse through middles and shades of gray on that area, but they weren't in full control. So we have a different view of the result and what messages we need to send to players about the care that they take with each other to not cause each other danger and to not break down play and cause bad hockey. That's just it. Let's see. The old Louts player was not in position, so it's not a tackle. Okay, so that's the argument. And hopefully I decimated it. Hi, Ernst. Why would it not be a 10-minute? Why should it not be a 10-minute yellow card when the victim is not the ball carrier? So, as I was saying, Ernst, my argument is, and I recognize that this isn't not necessarily held by, this isn't a unanimous opinion, perhaps not even a consensus opinion, but this is my feeling about how this particular clause, this briefing, has gotten completely blown out to the extent now that any time a player is even on the ground, everybody's demanding a yellow card, even if he doesn't make contact, and even if it's not a tackle, and even if a player falls down and decides to tie up his shoelaces, suddenly coaches are screaming for a yellow card. That this guidance has overstepped the intention of protecting players who are in vulnerable positions. Not every slide needs to be dealt with as a dangerous play. It's dangerous when players can't see what's coming, when they can't protect themselves. that could still be highly dangerous, but is it a mandatory penalty? The mandatory part is the part that really just grinds my gears. So I hope that clears it up without restating. Staying red slurred into purple's path. So 10-minute for you. You're happy it's not a tackle and not a mandatory card, but still think that the play is reckless. So you're agreeing with my arguments. Thank you, Luke. And this is something that I keep repeating it. I keep working through it because I want to find the holes in the argument as well. Okay. So having an opinion is fine, but having the right opinion is the thing that is most important to me. Does the interpretation that I'm working with here serve the game properly? Do we still have ample protection for players against opponents who decide to slide recklessly to the ground? Do we still allow room for players to slide in attacking situations and produce spectacular goals and not have silly, awkward looking cards given when there was actually no danger just because it happened to fulfill a few words on a checklist? That's the concern I have, Ernst. I don't like us giving out cards when there actually wasn't danger. Okay. Ben, does the players taken down need to be the ball carrier? Yeah, I know. But the word tackle that is included absolutely does. So if I come back here to the definitions. So this is it here. Very slow. A tackle is an action to stop an opponent retaining possession of the ball. Okay? That is there. And then when you look at the briefing of the FIH briefing, for example, it says specifically that this pertains to tackles, sliding tackles by defenders or attackers. That's logically impossible. A defender can't, or an attacker can't be tackling because an attacker has possession of the ball. A tackle has to be made to dispossess somebody who's already got the ball. So you can't have an attacking tackle. Doesn't make sense. So that's the intellectual reason that I have problem with that. Good question though. Keep pumping me with these questions because I appreciate it. How are we doing for time? Oh, it's 2. Oh my God. He might not have intended to break his opponent's neck in the process, but he was reckless to the consequences of the actions. Sebastian, absolutely true. And it uses that beautiful phrase, such as. You're convinced? I'm good at this. I'm good at the arguments, but I'm okay with, like, keep pushing back, keep challenging, because we need to figure this out, because I don't want this sport to go down the road of giving out 10-minute yellow cards anytime a player goes down. And these slippery slopes are very easy to get on when we don't think critically about why a rule is in place. We make mistakes on the pitch as umpires if we don't think critically about why something is there. And at the end of the day, we want to stay out of the way of the players. We want them to do cool stuff, and we want to just have this front row seat where we get to clap our butts off because they're doing cool stuff. We are facilitators, not enforcers. And for you, it fulfills the guidance of 913. There you go. Simon. Players know if they take the risk going to ground, they run the risk. Yes. And that's the thing, is like, you know, you can go to ground, but you better do it right. And you better not endanger somebody else. Yes, that's correct. Raj, good job. Oh, dang, you made it live. March break. Hi, Can't Hammer. High risk action without due regard to opponent safety. Serious injury, 10. I can't believe you want more yellow cards. Ernst, this doesn't seem like you. Has somebody got a hold of your YouTube channel account? You're sure the player in white could not have exactly, right? Does the other player, does the opponent have a chance of seeing what's coming? And therefore, you know, what we're trying to avoid players like diving in and creating, manufacturing these fouls by tumbling over. And I heard the arguments. Ernst, I mean, back in the day, like if you heard Mo Fiersta just absolutely up in arms when I think it was Manpreet went into a slide and Lucas Villa was running with the ball, and Lucas Villa, you know, sees Manpreet coming and sort of takes a little bit of a hop, but then he goes diving over, and it happened just outside the 23, and Ben Gunshin gave the 10-minute yellow card, and this was at the 2019 World Cup. And him and I can't remember which Aussie player, like a bunch of them were on social media saying that should not be a yellow card because the attacker, the Argentinian player in this case, could have avoided it. And I'm like, wow, that's harsh. But the point being, even though I disagree with the application in that particular scenario, just from what happened there, the point being, if a player can see somebody coming, for example, the player is sliding towards them and the ball is coming and they're like, oh, you know what I might do is I might step in front of this and make sure I intercept. If you have those kind of opportunities, is that as dangerous of a situation that requires a 10-minute yellow card every time, 100% of the time? It's the mandatory thing. It still might be. It still might be. Maybe the slide from the attacker comes at such an angle that the defender doesn't really see it, and the ball's coming really fast and blah, blah, blah. That's different. Then you have the opportunity to... I have to plug my iPad back in again. It's not charging. You might have the opportunity to still go for that high penalty. Totally fine. What if they both dove for it? Ugh, I don't know. I don't know. Just going to say it that way. There you go. Mike's going to pick up the argument. Good. You guys fight it out. Did the actions of red allow his opponent to legitimately avoid taking the ground? And yeah. But just stating it, Ernst, that's not enough. You have to give me an argument as to why any time, whether a player is in possession or not, any time it needs to be a 10-minute yellow card. You have to show me, and I will show you clips. We're friends. Like we're gonna have a WhatsApp after this, and I'll show you clips, Ernst, where yellow cards are given, and you'll be like, nah, no way, right? Because they fulfill the letter of the briefing. Ernst has a yellow background. But I know Ernst, and he's not big into umpires intervening and stuff. He wants umpires to stay out of it. Oh, I know. But it's something to take into account. That when a bunch of top-level players are saying, yeah, but if the player in possession of the ball can see the slide coming, should we really be rewarding them for tumbling to the ground? Like, let's listen to that. And I listen when players talk. I don't always agree with them, but I listen. Yeah, consistent with what though? Consistent with what? I don't give a crap about being consistent with the letter of the law. I want consistency with the spirit of hockey and what is fair and what is safe. That is consistency. Okay, I'm going to end the poll. Now that I've had a one-person exchange with Ernst for the last little while, if you didn't catch our live stream together a couple weeks ago now on aerial interceptions in the D with David Ames and Bernardo Fernandes of South Pass and the Portuguese national team, you lost out because it was really good, but go catch it on the replay, and I'm going to put a little card up here somewhere so you can find it. Will you shut up? Nah. Never. Okay, let's see how the votes are. Oh, I can't believe that even today, there are 32 of you voting in this poll. Thank you so much. 78% yellow, 10 minutes. 9% for a 5-minute yellow, play on 9%, and a green 3%. Definitely not a green. It just can't be a green. But I got it. Okay, thank you so much for that. I'm going to cut the 2-minute warning short because I can and because it's already 2:07. I do front load the most complicated and most interesting scenarios at the beginning. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to this story. Here's topic 3. The no goal in Amsterdam. So I talked about this with Kat and McDowell, and we worked through it together a little bit. And the reason that I want to bring this up isn't necessarily because I want to work in depth through the decision. There's not really a principle involved, but this was the cover. This was the first image on the Instagram post that was put up by Icons Hockey, which basically, it's very sour that it's decided this way. Also because we have 2 points from 2 games. And then, you swiped right and you got to the video that I'm about to show you. Here's the thing, friends. This play did not, whoa, this is the wrong video. Let's do this. This is the wrong video too. Let's go back to this. Ernst, guess who's working in preview mode right now? Yeah, this girl. Because for some reason, I didn't switch the things. So the poll, Kat, to come up, we can take this one, which is this a play on? Is this a penalty corner? A free hit to the defense? Or is it a goal? Okay. That's what we're looking at. How did I miss this whole thing? I don't understand. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. Here's a topic. Dogs, daughters, and coffee. That's my New York accent, if you weren't sure. Okay, almost with you. Almost with you. Are you with me? Okay. Here we go. I think. Here's the video.
Tevreden met de gelijke stand. Dit is Rosa Vernie. Gaat goed door over de achterlijn. Bal komt voor. Pien Sanders scoort. Maar de scheidsrechter heeft een overtreding gezien van de speelster van Den Bosch. En keurt deze goal dus af. Zo blijft het 2-2. Maar de actie was schitterend van Rosa Vernie. Pien Sanders tikt die bal met de backhand achter keepster Veenendaal. Maar uiteindelijk wordt hij afgekeurd door scheidsrechter Van Sloten. Blijft dus 2-2. Daar de overtreding schijnbaar gemaakt.
So as you're starting to vote, get your votes in quickly. And then what I'll do is I'll start pointing out the things that factually I think apply. Okay, to be fair, when the Dutch translate their word, scheidsrechter, something like that, their dictionaries tell them that the correct word is referee. So I'm not ditching on Dutch people for calling all of us referees, okay? We're not doing that. It's just something that it's just a cultural thing. And we mistranslate stuff into other languages all the freaking time. So let's not be jerks about it. Let's see. Oh, Rachel, you changed your mind on that. Okay, that's okay. It's good. Yeah, no. I have standards. Okay. Refill time. Okay. We'll do that next time. Where I'll play some music. Do 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 do, and you can all go get your drinks. And so Larry's seeing a stick obstruction and a free hit defense here. Okay, so let's get to this. What we're seeing. So I've slowed this down very muchly. This is the best angle to see this. So, or you just see an obstruction. Okay, obstruction, free hit defense. Gotcha. Okay. Happy Three Mums sees a foot. And don't think that quite is... It looks like it goes by the foot. But that is not the decision that was rendered, because the timing of the arm and the free hit that goes up is on the contact between the two players right about... Okay, you can see the two players that are coming into the picture. Why do you curse me? It's these two players here. These two players here. It's a rainbow. Okay, but it's difficult to see. And imagine you're the umpire in this scenario, right? This is what we're all about is, okay, how do I make sure that I get this call right when I'm the one on the pitch? And then you've got the collision that happens. The ball goes by them both in the scenario. And then you have the subsequent follow-up play. Okay, so it's 13 and 16 coming into the picture right here. 13 and 16. Now, one thing that we can think about, and this is high level stuff, but come with me on this. Come with me. This is prototypical Dutch hockey. They literally have written a step-by-step on how to score goals from 7 meters and in proximity to the goal, okay? And the way you do it is that you drive the baseline, the right baseline, and I call it taking it to church, because I'm not going to start a political argument, but if you dribble down to the right wing end, and then you're taking it to church, okay? So this is what I coach, is you take it to church and you drive along the baseline and then you slant the ball back, because the Dutch know how to score these goals. And they know, these are two very high level Dutch teams playing each other, and they know that this is where the ball is going. So 13 knows darn well here where this ball is going to get sent. And so she absolutely is going to move into this space to try to stop this from occurring. As it turns out, that contact means that she also misses the ball, okay, because there's a little bump back, and then this player attempts to swing at the ball and misses. And Happy Three Mum, I think that there isn't a foot contact. Not for me. Because the ball doesn't change direction. Just sneaks right by. Okay? And then when you watch it in even slower motion, as it's coming in, watch when the umpire's first arm comes up. Okay? Here's the impending contact. We can all see it coming. Here comes 13. I'm going to take this space, and they're both entitled to cut to this space at this moment. This is as 50-50 of a 50-50 can 50. And you can see here, the ball hasn't been released yet. As the ball's being released, there goes the whistle towards the mouth, and the arm is already up. Okay, and because she doesn't have a whistle in her mouth, the way that I advocate, whenever the ball's inside the circle, she puts one of her arms up. She's going to be calling a free hit, and then she's like, oh, that's the wrong arm, and then she'll whistle, and then she's got to switch hands, and it's awkward. So just put your whistle in your mouth. It helps you go faster. So she's already made a decision before the second player has the ball. Okay, already happened. So let's see. Can I move the comments to this top? You can't see the action fully. There. I have to move them back down later. Just don't let me forget. Backstick. Where do you see a backstick, Stain? Where do you see that? Obstruction from white, advantage played, goal, and that's what you're seeing, Simon, and that's okay. No, I don't think that's terrible at all. I don't think that's a terrible application to this particular scenario. Let me get this running again. Berend, you see, let's see, this isn't coming up. You see the number 16 running into the Amsterdam defender, and you see a free hit. So you see the opposite to what Simon is seeing. And Raju has said, just play on, which is totally fair. Hey, Barry, can you have subtitles? I don't know what the commentator was saying. I do know what Icon said on the Instagram reel or the Instagram story. And for Simon, correct call. Den Bosch player interfered with the defender. Yeah, well, Simon, that's a whole nother ball of wax, as it were. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. And if I can mix any more metaphors, I absolutely will. But all about the positioning here. And this is, so we can talk about a little bit of facility and positioning and about how important I feel it is for umpires to not get too stationary when they get to their happy place. So this is a bit of a fine-tuning thing. I like where Imke is very much. She is in a happy place, but she's also turned and walking towards the goal, looking a bit over her shoulder, which naturally makes it a little bit harder to take in a full periphery of vision. I prefer, and I coach, that an umpire is standing with their shoulders open to the entire play and letting the play move around them and just pivoting a little bit. Like, oh, there I am. I got that. I got that. I got all of it. Okay? Because if you are there, you have to do the minimal amount of head moving, which makes it more difficult for you to see things that are off the ball. Makes it harder for you to see things on the ball because the ball's moving fast. So you want you to be moving as little as possible while the ball and the players are doing all this crazy stuff, and yet providing yourself with the best angles you can possibly see. So good point, Veer Tigers. You don't see anything here, Luke, that constitutes an offense even after the slow-mos. You voted play on, but if there's anything else of note, you're willing to be swayed. Yeah, okay. Let's 2-minute warning this and see what we got. Oof. Oof. This is a hard one. This is a hard one. That's the last. Let's see where we're at. We're not getting to rapid fire, you guys. It's just not happening. Friends, we are not firing the rapids today. 220. That's pretty even. Free hit defense and play on. That is pretty darn even. And for me, if I were to go any way on this, I really respect that the umpire was able to see contact off the ball like that. That's an incredibly difficult decision or incredibly difficult aspect to see in the game. Okay. Do I think that it was disadvantageous to the defense in that situation? No. So I see this either as a play on situation because the two players happily collided with each other. Basically, they were both going to wrestle for the space, and it just so happened that they effectively bumped each other off the ball, and the play could have at that point continued into whatever eventuality could have eventualed whatever it was. Free hit defense was your vote, Larry. And the bump pushed the defender forward, so they were in position first. And you see them moving into the same space, Cat, and they both missed. See how I have to move this now? Now it's in the wrong place. There. And it's covering up the... There you go. And we are getting very, very close. You're not wrong. Do you remember that time at band camp where we talked about this earlier in the thing? And the 2-minute warning is excellent. Okay? Learning points that I want you to take out is the positioning, is the whistle timing, having your whistle in your mouth to make it more possible for you to make a quick and accurate decision in those situations, and the difficulty of seeing off the ball contact. Okay? Also, icons, don't do that again, or I'm coming for you. All right? I love the stuff you do. I love the fact that you show everybody amazing plays from Dutch Hoofdklasse and other divisions. Don't mess this up. You have power and responsibility. You hear me? Whichever you go for, says Simon, you need to either call play on or give a quick whistle. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Number four. Who knows? Maybe this is going to be appropriately done. This was a question that came up in the server. Very happy to get this one. Again, Patrick, coming up with the great questions. With the tags, let's go. Okay, 12:30-ish, and it's a watch hockey, so we can't YouTube tag it. But he's asking about a particular aerial that was taken, and it raised questions for him. This was the England-Germany semifinal or quarterfinal. That was just so heartbreaking for English fans. And it looked like, and definitely the commentary on this particular play was, I thought that maybe it was an encroachment by the defense, so I'm not sure why it went. No offense, Charlie Broom, but what you didn't know was this is actually an aerial. We're not even going to vote on this because I'm just telling you. I'm just telling y'all. This is an aerial free hit that is taken that goes straight into the circle. Okay? The reason being is that it is legitimately playable inside the circle. Now, this is a bit of a carryover from the old days when we couldn't receive the ball. We couldn't play the ball above our shoulder. So an aerial that was legitimately playable had to be playable at shoulder height. That's why this particular phrasing of the rule was still there. Again, we could probably get rid of this and make it simpler. By the way, can somebody take notes on this so that I can put this in my file of things to change in the rulebook? So you're explicitly permitted under 13.2 F. This isn't a condensed version of the clause. I've removed the other clauses. It's permitted to play the ball high above the attacking circle so that it lands outside the circle. That's fine, subject to the rules of dangerous play, and that the ball is not legitimately playable inside or above the circle by another player during its flight. Any other player. So that's the free hit. And even though it's not a clean take, this take by Banderak means that the ball was legitimately playable inside the circle. Therefore, it's an improperly executed free hit, and the ball needs to be taken back over on the other side. Now, if you're Jakub Meslik in this situation And the teams are both very happy about where they're taking that free hit from. Are you going to go, shh, I know the rule better than everybody else, take it from over there? Probably not. Okay. But for furthest clarity, if anybody says, but if that was wrongly taken, it has to go. Yeah, it does. The free hit for the defense needs to be taken outside the circle, in line with the offense, up to 15 meters from the end line. There you go. It's probably already in my book, Rachel, but I lost it. Yeah, so that's the last one. Okay. Those were the 4 that I wanted to get through. I'm not going to rapid fire this. I just feel fortunate that only one of the scenes or one of the clip scenarios was a complete dumpster fire, that the internet was good, that so many of you showed up on a Thursday, which is ridiculous. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I am going to be taking off tomorrow morning to Toronto to the Can-Am Indoor Series, which feels weird because it's so late in the season. But yes, it's the end of the indoor season in Canada. It is the Canadian men, or the Canadian and American senior men, under 19 men, and under 19 women playing 3 games against each other each. And yeah, so it's going to be a great experience. I have a nice team of umpires to work with. Alex Miles, Joe Wedrich, and Pamba from Canada. Pamba being the one going to Barbados, and Ridge Bear from the US. And I have long relationships with all of them. It's going to be a really fun experience. I will try to provide some kind of reflections or something, because this is my first international appointment, quote unquote, for quite some time. So I'm honored. I'm really happy that Field Hockey Canada picked me, and I'm just always excited that I get a chance to work with good people. So that's going to be good. And Raj, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here and contributing as you always do. It's a blast for me. If you have not gone into the server and gotten into that hot mess of Giphy goodness, it's going to be dope. I'm setting up the Ted Lasso channel today. Yesterday, Apple TV started releasing Ted Lasso. We are going to have a specific channel where we are able to discuss Ted Lasso things. So if you don't want spoilers, you don't go to that channel. You don't even open up that channel. You don't even accept the role for that channel. And you will be safe from Ted Lasso conversations. We cannot use GIFs that come from this series, this season either, until we're already there. Okay? Rachel, you're umpiring this weekend with your coach from a previous game. That's going to be fun. Okay, stuff being worked on in your head from today. All right, that sounds really good. And thank you. Thursdays are great. Oh, don't start. If I have to start thinking about whether I'm going to change my live stream day, I cannot make any more decisions than I already am. Thank you for the What Up Thursday and great discussions as always. And Berend, I'm glad you were here, and Ian, okay? And Boo says thanks, and a shame there's no more Keely Fridays at CTA. Well, you're just gonna have to tell Coach Paul that y'all want me back, and we'll hang out. But hopefully, Simon, so I'm coming over to the UK, bookending the EHL. And I'm trying to fit in how I can hang out in Cambridge for a day or something. So stay tuned, because it would be really nice to meet you and meet Boo, because Boo is always participating in the chats, which I really appreciate. So that'll be 13 Thursdays. Stop it. All right. And the Beatles Sunday is coming. I can't wait to hear all that. Rachel prefers Wednesdays. So you see what you've started? People are going to start voting. I did that for the Olympics, and that almost killed me, David. Almost killed me. I did a live stream every morning after watching all the games, produced a show, executed a show, and then went and slept all afternoon. for 4 hours. And then I got up and I did it again. That is a nightmare. There you go. And Larry's still on a 10-minute. Yeah, I agree. Definitely a 10-minute yell. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully my buttons are going to work. We'll see you in the server. Be awesome.